Hi you guys, welcome back to Jeff's Smoking and Barbecue Adventures with some unique indoor cooking too. I know it's been a while since I've done one of my smoke and barbecue videos, but it's a beautiful spring day today and we were at Eastern Market in Detroit Sunday and I picked up some boneless center cut pork chops. So I've got them soaking in a brine of apple juice, brown sugar, kosher salt, and always one of my key ingredients, bourbon. I only put a couple shots in. I'm not allowed to drink alcohol since February 16th, but this just is for flavor. It doesn't get you drunk or nothing. And I only put about 2 or 3 shots in this whole thing of pork chops. So what you do is you mix all that together and then stick your pork chops in it. These are about, oops, that was bad. These are only, they're not quite an inch thick. Preferably, these were already cut, but if I would have bought it and had them cut it, I would have them cut it about an inch and a quarter thick. Maybe even an inch and a half. And I have them soaking in here for a couple hours. Preferably, if I would have thought of it yesterday, I would have soaked them overnight. But a couple hours, and this will really help them to stay moist while you're smoking. And today I'm using this new rub I bought a while back. It's Mediterranean. It's good for pork, chicken, and beef. And it sounds really good, so I thought I'd give her a shot. So I'm probably gonna let these stay in the brine for another hour. Then I will put them on a rack, have them dry, put the rub on, cover them for about a half an hour, let the rub soak in while I go outside and get the smoker ready. I will probably put the smoker on 225 degrees. You want your pork chops to have an internal temperature of about 160, 165 degrees. Now what you can do is when they get up to about 140, 150, put them in aluminum foil or butcher's paper, wrap them up and put them back on the smoker until they get up to 165 degrees, and that helps them get some moisture in the last half an hour or so of the smoking process. I'm not sure if I mentioned already, but I'm going to be using about 70% apple chips and 30% probably hickory. I've got every flavor you can think of, but apple is good for pork and chicken and seafood. And the hickory, apple smoke is real mild, so you want to put some hickory or mesquite or something in with it just so it gives it the heavier smoke taste. Cherry's good for chicken and pork too, but I mean I have Jack Daniels, hickory, mesquite, I have a bunch of different ones. So anyway, I'm gonna get back with you when I'm getting ready to put the probably when I'm putting the rub on and when I'm putting them on the smoker. And it won't take long because, like I said, these are only maybe 3/4 of an inch to an inch thick, and so I'm gonna have to really watch the temperature when it gets to about 150. All right. Take care, and I will touch base after. Welcome back, you guys. So, I took the pork chops out of the brine. They were on there soaking for about a good couple hours. Again, I want to stress that if you think of it the night before, do it the night before, but a couple, 2-3 hours the day of is fine also. So I put them on one of my racks and I patted them dry with paper towel. And now I'm coating them with my Mediterranean rub that I got at Home Depot, I believe. And you want to be very generous with your rub. And just keep putting it on. And I take a cookie sheet and line it with aluminum foil. And then all the rub that falls to the bottom, I'll pat the edges of my chops in that, so all the meat has rub on it. So you flip them over, and just do the same process on the other side. And here's my other rack. So I have 10 total that I got at Easter Market the other day, Sunday. So I'll just continue doing this. When I get done with that, I'm going to wrap them in plastic wrap for about a half an hour while I get the smoker up to temperature, and I'll check back in with you guys when I'm ready to put them on the smoker. Hi you guys, I'm outside. I got the smoker all set up, and I have it set for 225 degrees. It's at about 170 right now. The meat's inside wrapped in plastic wrap with all the goodness on it. I just thought, since it's more or less the beginning of the season for barbecuing and smoking, that I'd go over a couple of refresher things. Like now I have the Masterbuilt electric smoker. What's nice about electric is if I was doing something big like a pork loin or a beef brisket or something, I can set this thing up and I could leave for 4 or 5 hours and come home and it's still cooking. You got to be here every couple hours to put more chips on if you want them, but literally you could leave for 6-8 hours and come home and your meat's all ready. Like I told you, I changed my mind. I'm going to go with cherry chips. The Cowboy brand is really good, and cherry is good for pork and chicken, and I think it might be good on, well, on the bag it says beef, pork, or lamb. I was thinking it wouldn't be bad on seafood, but maybe it wouldn't be good. I do have apple chips, so when I do seafood, sometimes chicken or pork, I'll use the apple chips and put a little hickory or mesquite or oak with it. Or even my Jack Daniels, which I love, Jack Daniels wood chips. But, so what you do, what's nice about Masterbuilt, I think they must have the patent on it, is you fill this little round thing with wood chips. And this way you don't have to open the smoker and let all the heat and smoke out when you want to add more chips. So this, you just come over here and you stick it in. So when you stick it in, you rotate it and the chips fall out into the smoking tray in the bottom that's by the heat element, and it gets the smoke rolling. Also, another refresher is you want to spritz your meat once in a while. I switch off. Right now this is just apple juice. Sometimes I'll use like apple cider vinegar, a little water, and maybe a little bit of brown sugar mixed in. With your apple juice you can put a little brown sugar in it too. The other thing is these have a water tray to keep moisture in, and it's down by the heating element right here. And what I like to do is put maybe 1/2 to 3/4 apple juice and the rest water, and when it evaporates in there from the heat, it moistens the meat and gives it a little apple or brown sugar flavor. I think that's about it on the tips. Probably in about 25 minutes, 20 minutes, I'll be putting the pork chops on, and I'll show you what that's all about. I thought while I'm just waiting here, I would show you a couple other nice features with the Masterbuilt. They have the nice digital readout. See, it's right on top. And you set the temperature you want. Right now it's at 223 degrees. I set it for 2 hours, and you can see there's an hour 37, so probably at an hour and a half I'll be able to put the meat on, because like I said, it's at 224 now and I want it at 225. And yeah, that's a real nice feature on the Masterbuilts. You don't have to have a portable extra meat probe either. You see right there, when I press that, it'll tell what the center of the meat is. I haven't done that yet because the meat's not on. The other thing I wanted to just show you is, this is where I was showing you that you put the wood chips in. See, the cylinder comes out and you got the hole. You fill it up with wood chips and turn it, and the wood chips fall out into the tray that smokes them. And that's it. I don't think I'd get anything but a Masterbuilt. Next time I'll probably get the 40-inch though. I've learned that lesson. You have more cooking space, so you could put whole racks of ribs on in that. When I do baby backs, I got to cut them in half to fit on there, unless I want to do them on an angle. Oh, here come my partners in crime. There's Paris. They always want to get in my cooking videos. And there's Holly getting out of her pool. Yep. Hey, Holly. Hi, Paris. They always want to try and get some drippings on the concrete. Once in a while, a dripping or two will get on the concrete, and they like to lick it up. That's the other thing. There's this tray in the back. See, she smells it. And there's that little tube that comes out, and anything that drips inside the smoker comes out and falls into this dripping pan, and then you can dump it out as needed. So there you go. There's my sales pitch on a Masterbuilt smoker. See you when I'm putting the pork chops on. So you guys, I just got all the pork chops on. The smoke was coming out really good. I'll show you real quick here. Look at that. Isn't that something? Man, does it smell good. The one thing I would like to show you is it has a built-in meat probe that reads out the temperature of the interior of your meat that you're cooking. So pick out the thickest pork chop that you have, which I believe is this one. Get it situated. And there you go. Hour and a half later, we'll have some good tasty pork chops. So there you got it. I'll show you when I'm taking them off. God bless. They've been on at least an hour now, so I want to give them a good spritz. This just helps keep it moist. And like I told you earlier, this is apple juice.
and that just helps to keep them moist. And a little apple flavor with the wood chips and everything. And I have to add some wood chips now because the smoke is stopped. So like I said earlier, you just take this thing out and put your wood chips in there. And just stick it back in. And there you got it. Okay guys, the pork chops are about 152 degrees right now, so I'm going to take them off. I'm going to wrap 5 in each sheet of these aluminum foil. I'm going to spritz them again with my apple juice and tighten them up and put them back on the smoker for about another 20 minutes till they're nice and steamed and moist and up to temperature of 165 degrees on the internal temperature of the pork chops. So let's see what this looks like now. Look at that smoke just pouring out of there. Whoa! So that's what you got to do. So I'll just do the other one, have them back in here for a little bit, and they will be done.